Welcome to the PTE Super Series lectures. This is the lecture number 3 in the series, and today we are going to look at the multiple choice single answer question type. As always, this will be your most useful time spent on YouTube today, so make sure that you watch the video till the end. The aim of these videos is to build your confidence by sharing with you the best methods and the mistakes to avoid, and at the same time getting some solid practice. Thank you so much to all of you who have been watching, subscribing, and sending us messages. We are really glad that our lectures are helping you in your PTE goals. For more resources, remember to visit the surewayenglish.com website. So let's get started, and we'll get started with the question right away, and then step by step we will see how to go about tackling that question. So here is your first multiple choice choose single answer question. I'll give you a few seconds to just quickly have a look. Now, the very first thing that you should do when presented by a multiple choice question is to read the question and the options. So here the question was, based on the information in the text, which of the following is not a correct statement? So always pay attention to what exactly are you being asked. In this case, they are not asking us which of the following is correct. They are asking us which of the following is not correct. So you have to find the statement out of these four, the statement that is wrong. Now, when you are presented with a question like this, where you have to find which of the following is correct or not, then that means you need to validate each of those options against the information in the passage. So what you can do, for example, you can start with the first option, toppings and fillings, and start reading the passage from the top, and wherever you find toppings and fillings, you validate that option. But continue reading, and then proceed with the second option, the third option, and so on. Never finalize your answer before you have gone through all the options and the entire passage, because sometimes the beginning of the passage might tell you that a number of different toppings and fillings they were used, but then in the end they will say that but since 1960 only one topping and one filling is used. So that means now this option it becomes wrong. So always make sure that you read till the end, don't be in a hurry. Another advantage of reading the options first is that when you're reading the passage, it's possible that the second option it's discussed somewhere in the beginning of the passage. Okay, so at the same time you can look for the information corresponding to all the options. Let's see how to do this in practice. So this is the passage. These are the options that we have. A number of different toppings and fillings are used for the donuts. So this is, starting from the top, I find that various toppings and flavorings are used. So that means it's correct about toppings. And fillings, this is where they're talking about the filled donut, which is injected with fruit preserves or other sweet fillings. So that means a number of different toppings and flavorings are used. So the option number 1, that is actually correct, which means it's not a right option, because we have to actually find the statements which are not correct. Now let's go with option number 2. Donuts are available both with and without a hole. Now in the beginning, either ring shaped or without a hole. So that means they are available with or without a hole. So this statement is also not an option because it is correct. Third, donuts must be accompanied by coffee, purchased at donut shops or fast food places. Now the last statement, it says donuts are often accompanied by coffee purchased. At the first glance, if someone is in a hurry, they will say, yeah, it really matches all the words. So this is also a correct option. But the difference is here it's saying often accompanied, and here it says must be accompanied. So that's a big difference, right? So that means this option is also this option is not a correct statement, and that's why that's the option that we will pick. Now, this is a common type of options which you will find in the multiple choice. On the first look, it will seem like, yes, this option is very correct, but then when you look closely, you will find some significant but minor difference, right? So in this case, for example, it's just a word there, often and must, but it's quite significant in the meaning. That's why I always tell students not to just match keywords. Okay, if someone is just matching words, they will say, yes, this matches, so this is not an option. But only when you read it properly and when you read it in context and when you try to understand the meaning, only then can you be certain whether that's a correct option or not. Okay, so don't always rely entirely on matching keywords to pick the correct options. The last one, donuts are deep fried from flour batter. So says are usually deep fried from flour batter. Other types of batter can also be used. So that means this option is also correct. So that's not a correct statement. So option number 3 is then our correct option for this case because that statement is not correct. So the key takeaways here were, don't be confused by the statements, with the options which are like almost correct but not 100% correct. And then secondly, always read till the end. Don't depend entirely on the keywords. Okay, keep that in your mind. So summarizing the points to remember, first read the question, then read the options, then look for specific information in the passage, or sometimes you might have to read the whole passage if the question is, for example, asking you for an opinion. Then check all the options before submitting. Answer only based on the information in the passage. Alright, so with that in mind, now we know what are the things that we need to take care of, and we also know the method that we are going to follow. So now we can try another question. Before that, can I please ask you to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so? Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you have a question. And if you subscribe, remember to click on the bell icon so that you immediately come to know when we upload the next video. Alright, let's go to question number 2 now. So, as always, we will read the question and the options first. The question is, based on the text, which is a key ingredient whose presence is a must for harissa to be real? So, and we have been given with a list of ingredients, and we have to find that which is the key ingredient whose presence is a must for harissa to be real. So harissa sounds like some kind of a dish or a food, and which ingredient is must for that food to be real. Now let's find the answer. Again, we have been given these options, so we can start reading from the top, looking for these specific options: paprika or smoked paprika. And you should also look for where they are talking about harissa and what goes in making harissa to make it real. Okay, so paprika or smoked paprika, it's here. Red chilies is in the beginning, westernized harissa. So that means that's where they're talking about harissa. And just before that, they say it's a mix of spices commonly sold together as a paste. And then this is where they're talking about black cumin. It's readily available in the Mediterranean and Middle East. And there are many people that say harissa is only real if it contains black cumin. So that means for harissa to be real, it's only real means that for it to be real, it must have black cumin. So this is, at this stage, we know that this looks like our correct option, but let's also make sure that, we have ruled out other options. So paprika and smoked paprika, they say other common spices include blah 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 and paprika or smoked paprika. So these are just other spices. So that's why it's not a correct option. Red chilies is present in westernized harissa, which is significantly different from standard cumin. So again, it's not a real harissa. Olive oil and tomatoes, olive oil and tomatoes. So tomato is also an integral ingredient to the cuisine of Tunisia. So it's part of Tunisian cuisine, but it doesn't specifically go into making harissa a real food, a real harissa. And the last one, olive oil. So sorry, olives. So that means we can rule out this option as well because they are present in the Tunisian cuisine, but not a must for harissa to be real. So now, based upon we have ruled out the wrong options, we have made sure that this is correct, and that's why we can submit our question now. It is black cumin. Okay, so that's the end of lecture number 3 today. We have gone through multiple choice, choose single answer questions. We have seen what are the steps that we need to follow and what are the mistakes or the pitfalls that we need to avoid. So keep that in mind. And if you are looking for more practice, remember to check the video description. You'll find links to a lot more resources there. Visit the surewayenglish.com website and remember to subscribe the channel. All the best. Keep studying, keep working. You'll definitely achieve your goal. All the best.